All right, everybody. I've only got my phone this morning, so reading the meditation might take what would be too difficult for me. So we'll do another meditation. Not our usual, which I love to do. So everybody, get yourself ready. Remembering that our body doesn't meditate. Your body does not meditate. We're so fixated on our body, but it doesn't meditate. But it's good to have it in a conducive position. So just to remind us, all the great yogis and yoginis over the centuries, they found that certain things about the body. And just recently, I was reading an interview I did with one of our own monks, Western monks, years ago, and he said, if you can sit in cross-legged, if you can sit in the full lotus position, he said it makes it so much easier to meditate. This is very curious. All the yogis and yoginis over the centuries have found that. Of course, unfortunately, if we've not prepared our body all our lives, like Asians have, perhaps, sitting in chairs all the time is very hard for us. But if we can sit in what they call full lotus, because the subtler physical and mental energies kind of align very nicely, and it's more easy to meditate. So if you can, fantastic. If not, sit with one leg across up on the other side. If not, regular cross-legged. If not that, sit in a chair. So if you're sitting cross-legged, your back naturally is held up very straight. But if you're in a chair, you've got to make that happen. So don't slump into the chair. Have your feet firmly on the ground and sit upright. That's important. Your hands in the meditation mudra or gesture, or any way you like, but this is the classic one we learn. Left underneath, right on top, thumbs touching, forming a triangle. And then your body relaxed but upright, muscles relaxed. But then your head, main thing, slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in, lips apart, jaw relaxed, tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth. Again, that's from the meditators over the centuries when they meditate for a long time, hours, days, even on end. It prevents you from dribbling, prevents you from having to swallow the spit. Tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, just near the palate. And your eyes looking down, slightly down, as if you're looking along your nose towards the ground. So this is the body. Now forget about the body, settle into it. So just think for this 30 minutes, it goes so quickly. We're going to attempt to do these little techniques. And the purpose of all of them, the short-term benefit, of course there could be short-term benefit, but it's the long-term that counts, the long-term. So the really long-term, if you're on this path, okay. So our long-term goal, why are we doing this little exercise, these series of techniques this morning? Why are we doing this? There can be short-term benefit, of course, let's hope, but the long-term is always the point, your motivation. So we're thinking, in this marvelous altruistic way, I want to do this little practice so I can develop my potential, so I can be of benefit to others. This is the long-term benefit, thinking that way. And then it becomes a cause for that. Because your mind creates whatever you do. Your mind decides, nothing's set in stone. So first we start with a little concentration technique. So just to remind us, please, this is not a relaxation technique. There are lots of relaxation techniques, but this is not it. It's to help you focus your mind. And why do you want to do that? So that during the day, after you open your eyes, you're using this habit to step back and not just to sort of sink into whatever you're thinking, but you're becoming kind of conscious, In these simple techniques, the goal is to simply watch the breath. We'll do that. But the result of it, the benefit almost immediately, is that you develop the skill, once you open your eyes, to step back and to become more conscious. So normally in the world, we only notice the outside, all the objects of the senses, and we dully just kind of plod along, and we only notice what's happening inside when it becomes very emotional. But we need to learn to observe what's happening inside before it gets to the level of emotion. This is the simplest way to put it, and it's the most profound thing. So this 30-minute exercise is the goal is to focus. But the main benefit, you might not get concentration. Of course you won't. It takes a long time. But the main benefit is you bring this skill with you to step back and to then to begin to be aware of what on earth is going on in your mind. That's the immediate benefit of this technique. So let's do that technique. We'll do it in a series of 5-minute sessions. I did an entire retreat with Lama Yeshe one time, a Mahamudra retreat, and he got us to do 5-minute sessions. And it's really excellent because some people just like to sit and they feel very comfortable, and you confuse it with meditation and think that you had a good meditation. No, you just relaxed, and that's nice, but it's not the meditation. We try to train the mind to be disciplined and sharp and clear and focused, and that takes quite a lot of effort because it's not its tendency. So with concentration, you need an object to focus on. You don't just disappear into the sky, You need to anchor your mind to something. So let's use the breath, the simplest object, but still profound. So let's first locate the sensation at the nostrils as you breathe in and out. You'll see it's slightly different when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Nevertheless, just that general area, just first locate that sensation, because that will be the focal object. Just breathe naturally. Don't force. Locate that sensation first. So what we're going to do, very simply, is pay attention to it. That's it. Pay attention. And think of it as if you're driving a car on the freeway. You know that if you relax your mind and space out, you'll die in 1 second. So that kind of sense of effort that you need, if you drive the car well, you're not focusing on how to drive the car. You know how to do that, but you have to focus, and you cannot lose your focus for a second. We absolutely know that. Have that feeling. There's a sense of urgency and a sense of sharpness of the mind. Don't think you just got to space out. That's the worst, most absurd idea. You can do that. That's called relaxation. It's not meditation. This concentration technique is to sharpen the mind. So just now, with strong determination, but some more advice, there's some practical things that we really should know. The simple job, the actual task, is to pay attention to that sensation. So naturally what's going to happen is thoughts are going to be raging along as usual. And as usual, we'll rush off and join in the thoughts. This is the deepest habit we have. So part of your mind, it's called mindfulness. And it's not some kind of, it's what it is a function of there are many parts of your mind. One is called attention. One is called intention. One is called concentration. One is called mindfulness. One is called alertness. They've each got their own precise job. So the job of attention is to watch. The job of mindfulness is like watching the attention and making sure it stays on the job. It's like the parent, and attention is like the kid. The second the kid wanders off, the parent brings it back. That's the job of mindfulness. It's the part of the mind that brings your mind back to the job when it gets distracted. That's its job. So even just these two parts, there are many parts all doing their thing, just these two. So the main one is attention, watching the breath. And the moment it wanders off, mindfulness, this other part, will bring it back. That's it. That's the job. And if you have to bring your mind back 50 times in a minute to the breath, that is a good meditation. Spacing out and feeling good is nice, but it's not the point. It's not the job to be done. We're training ourselves to stay sharp and focused so that in the long term we can investigate and unpack and unravel our mind. That's its job. But this particular technique is to train the mind to stay focused. So with determination for 3 or 4 minutes, pay attention to that sensation of the breath. That's it. Just bring the attention back to the breath. Keep it sharp and focused. Let the thoughts come and go. Don't pay attention to them, just the breath. Just keep the mind alert, just on the breath. Just the breath. Just adjust the attention. Fix it up, keep it sharp. So now relax for a minute. That's about 4 minutes. And you can see the benefit. Trying to stay conscious every second. It's an incredible practice. It's an amazing practice, actually. Attempting to be conscious every second. This is what we need to develop. Just relax for a second. Open your eyes, wrinkle, and relax. Just relax the mind. Even I think in Western psychology, they say we've got 1,000 thoughts a second. So it shows the way to go to learn to be focused on each one. So we're training the mind. This is training. This technique is training. It's not to get some experience, which is one of the misconceptions. It's not to make the thoughts go away. That's not the point. It's to train the mind to stay focused. So just settle into the position again. Your body upright, hands in the mudra in your lap, chin, jaw relaxed, lips apart, tip of the tongue behind the top teeth. Settle into the position again. And then refocus the mind with determination. For 3, 4, 5 minutes, I'm going to simply pay attention, train my mind to stay focused. Train my mind to stay focused. Catch it. So mindfulness is watching like a hawk. Every time attention wanders off, every time attention, every time in other words, every time you forget what you're doing, mindfulness brings it back to the job. That's what's happening. And let the thoughts come and go. It's inevitable you're going to notice the thoughts out of the corner of your eye. That's great. That's good. You need to. But you're not paying attention to them. You're not involving in them. That's the thing. So with determination, pay attention to the breath. Sharp and focused. Just bring the attention back to the breath. Just the breath. So now with this focused mind, let's contemplate. We'll finish. We've got 10 minutes. Finish something like 10 minutes. 7. We'll finish with contemplating the 4 immeasurable thoughts. So just imagine in front of you, no, above your head. Just imagine the Buddha. That's all. Buddha, classic form of the Buddha, sitting in full lotus on a multicolored on a lotus. Yeah, on a lotus, and then the form of the Buddha in the not the tantric form, the other one, the monk, above your head, made of light, radiant. So we just think, we'll contemplate these 4 thoughts. This is the essence of the Bodhisattva approach. This brave attitude of the Bodhisattva based on complete compassion of the sentient beings, that it's my job. And as Lama Zopa says, I myself alone, the kind of courage you need to want to never give up being of benefit to sentient beings. So just think how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could abide in equanimity, free of attachment, for your beloveds, aversion to the ones who harm you, and indifference to all the others, which is 99% of the world, free of attachment, anger, and ignorance. May they abide so. And now this brave thought, I will make this happen. Sense of responsibility. Is there every sentient being or your child? You're responsible for their happiness. Please, Buddha, bless me to be able to do this. And just imagine white light coming, filling you completely, this blessing you with the inspiration to be able to never stop working to help sentient beings. Just for a second, imagining full of this blissful light, these blessings, this ability. Now, the second of these 4 immeasurable thoughts. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could be free of suffering and its causes. May they be free. This is the cultivation of compassion. May you not suffer. That's compassion. I will make this happen. Which means because you know now how to get rid of suffering and its causes, you know how to help others. This is the point of the Bodhisattva path. Please, Buddha, bless me to be able to do this. Again, full of this blissful light coming from the Buddha, the energy, the enthusiasm to be able to do this, to help sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could have happiness and its causes, especially enlightenment. May they have them. This is the development of love. Love is, may you be happy. I will make this happen. Please, Buddha, bless me to be able to do this. Full of this blissful light, this blessings, this encouragement, this inspiration to be able to help sentient beings be happy, to want them to be happy, and to know how to, and to want to help them, to know how to be happy, how to guide them. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never parted from higher rebirths and liberations, excellent bliss. May they never be parted. I will make this happen. And this really is, to be free of, to be always like that, you need to have realized emptiness. So to have the wisdom to know how to help sentient beings that way. Please, Buddha, bless me to be able to do this, full of this blessing, this light, this courage of the Bodhisattva. So imagine Buddha just dissolves into you, merges with your body, speech, and mind. Buddha's body, speech, mind, your body, speech, mind, same. And just for a minute to finish, just sit in that, full of the blessings of all the enlightened beings, your own potential manifesting. Feel this clear, radiant, blissful. Imagine. And then throughout the day, as much as the day is left, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, bring the skill of staying focused into your life. Don't just leave it on the cushion. And what that means is, as soon as we open our eyes, we're back to the ordinary life, sensory objects are dominating our lives. So have this ability to be stepping, to be not just conscious of what's happening in front of us, but noticing, using this skill, this time to notice your thoughts. Yes, to pay attention to your thoughts. Use that skill to pay attention now to the thoughts. And then slowly we learn to distinguish them. Some are neurotic, some are I-based, some are unhappy, negative, depressed, jealous thoughts. Others are positive, but we have to consciously cultivate the positive ones. And then we argue with the other ones. We deconstruct them, hear what they're saying. Don't give them too much power. This is what we should do every day. This is being your own therapist, as Lama Yeshe says. This is the job of being a Buddhist. It's very proactive, becoming more and more familiar with your thoughts, more and more familiar, and then knowing what to do with them, identifying them. That's the job. For our sake and the sake of others. And that's it. Our 30 minutes gone like a dream. Thank you, precious people.